and asked him to play for the college's team. Dad later said that helped him to pass the class. Immediately after graduation, Kwai Fong and Constance Choy moved back to Hawaii with their firstborn, David, and lived upstairs in a small apartment above Cooney Dry Goods on University Avenue. Kwai's first job as a practicing veterinarian was for Dr. Nam Cho, and they worked out of a garage first before opening up an office. He did this from 1960 until 1962. In 1962, Kwai Fong opened up Kapalama Pet Hospital, which was located at Kapalama Shopping Center. Mom's sisters, B. Valenzuela and Anna Yi, volunteered their time there when it first opened. In 1967, Kwai Fong moved to his present location at 551 Dillingham Boulevard. Mom became the office manager and helped to run the hospital. From the 60s until the 80s, Dad and Mom raised the four of us, putting us through school, teaching us tennis and bowling, and watching us at tennis matches, bowling leagues, driving us to orchestra rehearsals and concerts. Dad would bring his tape recorder and record all of our concerts. Weekend driving trips to the beach house on the North Shore each weekend for fishing, tennis, or swimming were common, as well as going to drive-in theater movies, Paradise Park, Sea Life Park, Ala Beach, and the zoo. Dad also loved traveling with the family, starting first with the Outer Islands, then multiple road trips to the mainland, Alaska, Western and Eastern Canada, international tours to Spain, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Egypt, Israel, South America, and Japan, to name a few. In his later years, Dad opted to go on cruises instead and went to Mexico, Alaska, and around the Hawaiian Islands. Dad was a great photographer and took pictures of us while on trips to every major holiday. Later, he got into video and continued this tradition. In 1994, Dad officially retired from working at the Kapalama Pet Hospital. He stayed on for another year as a consultant, but by 1995, he was done. This was after 33 years and at the age of 64. Dad had passed on a legacy. Over the years, he worked with and trained dozens of veterinarians, promising vets to be, and interacted with thousands of clients. With some, he knew their pets' names and faces better than their owners. He was very cordial, polite, good-natured, humorous, and easygoing in his demeanor, and was popular for his caring bedside manner. He was friendly, loved to talk, and would often have to remind you to cut his office visits short, as there was always a waiting room full of animals. I managed to contact Robin Mann, who hosted the local morning kids show, Romper Room, on KHON Channel 2 from 1964 until 1972. Dad would bring a dog and examine him in front of the TV class. Miss Mann said, the late Jiro Matsui, former owner of Petland Ala Center, had high praises for your dad, which is why we invited Kwai Fong to be in a romper room on more than one occasion. He would explain things to the children in terms that they would understand and made the information relevant. Your dad's warmth and sense of concern for animals would always shine through. I had great admiration for him. Dad also volunteered to speak at school classrooms and would bring his specimen jars and samples for the class to see. In his retirement years, Dad volunteered to serve on the board of directors at the Honolulu Park Place condo where he had lived for a number of years. He was an active member and served on the Safety and Security Committee also. In 1996, Dad was blessed with his first grandchild, 92nd, his second, in 1998, his third, and in 2001, his fourth. Dad had told me before that one regret in life was that he didn't get to spend as much time as he wanted to with his kids. He certainly seemed to make up for it by babysitting his grandkids constantly. This helped him to keep his mind sharp and body busy. In 2002, Dad noticed that he was becoming more forgetful and feared he had Alzheimer's. He would spend hours on the internet and tell me that it was due to the sticky beta amyloid tau protein that was adhering to his brain. Although the disease slowly robbed him of his short-term memory, Dad never lost his long-term memory, which included his wife, his kids, his grandkids, friends, relatives, dates of events, or his former occupation. I brought my dog to visit him a few months ago, and he correctly diagnosed Bella's ear and skin infection. In 2009, Dad was admitted to the hospital for a bowel blockage and spent a week there. In March 2011, Dad and Mom moved to assisted living at 15 Craigside, as Mom knew that Dad would need the added care as his disease progressed. In mid-September 2011, Dad complained of a sore stomach and was admitted to the hospital where they ran numerous tests. The doctors at first thought he was suffering from acute pancreatitis. 7 weeks later, a savvy doctor diagnosed Dad with pancreatic cancer. The 25-millimeter tumor had attached itself to the head of his pancreas. After seeking medical advice, the family decided to have Dad undergo the Whipple procedure, which would cut out the cancerous section and resect his pancreas to another area of his nearby organs. Dad underwent the procedure Thanksgiving 2011, but the procedure was not successful. Dad was given 3 to 6 months to live. Immediately, the family plans to go on a final trip, a cruise aboard the Pride of America around the Hawaiian Islands, which we did during the Christmas holiday. Dad's favorite passions, besides spending time with the family, watching TV, football, UH football, and volleyball, professional tennis, and boxing on TV, playing board games, ping pong, and cards, was eating. And that's what we did excessively for 7 days straight. From January to May 2012, Dad's health slowly worsened. About 3 years before, Mom had asked each of us 4 kids to take Dad out every Saturday so that we could spend time with them and she could go out with her friends. Dave would take Dad bowling, or to his tennis matches, or to the movies or eat. Sharon would take him out shopping or the swap meet, or to sedan sales, tennis matches, or dim sum for lunch. Trace would take him to Bishop Museum, Home Depot, fishing, Academy of Arts, around Chinatown, and lunch. I would take him to tennis matches, apartment open houses, banking, to the doggy park, and Costco for hot dogs. We'll continue to do this until Dad's body could no longer endure these outings. These times became more and more valuable, and Tracy and I probed Dad's mind for his memories and recorded them lest they be forgotten. Dad never complained, never became belligerent or combative, and still had his wits and his playful personality about him. I remember while recovering in the hospital, when the nurse was talking with him, he replied, "Are you flirting with me?" Another time, when talking to him about his upcoming birthday, I mentioned to him that this year it fell on Father's Day. He smiled and said, "Shucks, that means less presents for me, huh?" I laughed and said, "No, Dad, we're still going to give you plenty of presents." During the month of May that I spent the nights at Craigside condo with Dad, I would stay up late and discuss with him his current condition. He had accepted it and said, "Shucks, I didn't think I was going to die this early." I asked him if there was anything in his life that he would have wanted to do, or if there was something I could do for him. He said, no, he was pretty content. He felt his accomplishments were finishing college, finishing the army and getting out alive, becoming a vet, having a pretty long life, raising good kids and grandkids, and having a good wife. On June 17th, Dad celebrated his 81st birthday. He played his harmonica for the family. We cut his birthday cake and ate as a family, one last time. On July 17th at 11:30 a.m., after a day of labored breathing, Dad took his final breath. His wife and children gathered around. His siblings and their family members had just visited days before. Dad was at peace with the world. Today is August 17th, and we celebrate the life of a great man who touched the lives of all whom he met. He always had a smile on his face, always held the door open for others, was polite, good-natured, easygoing, and cordial until the end. I'm sure he's in heaven now, bringing smiles to everyone there. Dad would periodically pull out his Horner 64 harmonica and play tunes for us. He could play anything by ear. His favorite song was Yellowbird, and here he is playing it for us one last time.
Praise be to God. Now, we'll have sharing by Stephen, his nephew, David, and Douglas, their memory.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Choy, Kwai Fong's nephew. My late father, Kwai Lam, was Mount Profoni's eldest sibling. I, as well as all of my siblings, cousins, and all that knew him, have very fond memories of Mount Profoni. With the many family parties that we had together, I always remember him as being full of life, and with his captivating smile, he was instrumental in all of us enjoying the time that we had together. He clearly was one of the best Santas at our Christmas party, as he provided personal information about us that made each and every one of us feel very special. I especially remember the special bedtime stories he told us. He was so creative and animated, and I couldn't wait until I heard the next chapter in the stories. These times were so special to me that it influenced my own special story time that I have with my grandson. I'm thrilled when I hear him say, "Grandpa, can you tell me a story?" And it brings back memories of the special time that I had with Uncle Fumi. Of course, the stories were not as exciting as today's Avenger stories with Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America. Nonetheless, I was still very excited about hearing my favorite baby Huey stories that was created by Uncle Fumi. Later in my life,